throughout the day because I have an oily skin, and this will prevent my face from producing oil, or just moderate the amount of oil my face produces to keep my makeup intact. Then I later went in with the Sacha buttercup setting powder, and this is also to prevent oil as well, and it serves as a base here to prevent my face from getting oily. Now moving on to the eyebrows, I first brushed out my brows to make sure everything is intact and ready to be drawn out. Then I went in with a MAC pencil. I really don't know the shade of this pencil, but it's a coffee brown shade, and I drew out the outline before I shaded the inner part of my brows. Then I went ahead to use the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Concealer in the shade C12 to conceal my eyebrows. This is basically to give my eyebrows the perfect shape that I want. So I use the concealer to conceal and cut out the perfect eyebrow shape that I want. Now using a medium-sized beauty blender, I went ahead to blend in the concealer to make sure it is evenly blended in before the application of any further product.
Till I get up, time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left.
Then I used the same Makeup Revolution concealer in the same shade all over my eyes to serve as a primer or a base before my eyeshadow application, and I made sure I blended that in as well. Then I went ahead to lighten out the front part of my brows. Personally, that's how I like my brows to look like, and that's how I've been doing my brows for like a very long time. So I only went in with a small amount of concealer on the brush to lighten the front part. Then I used a spoolie to brush it out to give it that look. So I achieved the entire eyeshadow look using the Makeup Revolution Forever Flawless palette. I applied the shade Retrograde on the upper part of my eyelid, and that is like a dark purple shade. So I applied that on the upper part of my eyelid. Then I went in with the shade Mask and I applied it on the upper outer part of where I had already applied the Retrograde. and this is to give it some sort of glow on the outer part. Then I went in again with the Makeup Revolution concealer to cut my crease, but I'm not bringing it all the way down to my eyelid because I'm only using it to achieve the silver line. Then I went ahead to use the shade Fractal to achieve the silver line, and what I did was I just applied it using a brush, and I just dabbed it on the area where I had already used the concealer to cut my crease. So I just dabbed it across that whole area. Now this looks a bit messy, and that isn't how big I want the silver line to look like. So going in with the concealer again, I then marked out how I want the white line to look like, and of course I cut another crease for the application of my next eyeshadow shade. I then went in with the shade Jupiter and applied it on the area where I had just applied the concealer. And I just dabbed that in as well till it had completely covered the concealer. Maybelline gel eyeliner to line my eyes. At this point, I had already applied my foundation, done my highlight and contour, and was only setting my highlighted areas with the Sacha Buttercup setting powder.